Okay, so let's begin. Let's come to a comfortable seated posture and just begin to move a little from side to side, taking a few moments to get settled in. And just going back and forth, tuning into your body, tuning into the breath. And then eventually finding your center and pausing, sitting nice and tall, lengthening up through the crown of your head, closing the eyes, and completely exhaling. Drop your burdens, drop your worries. And settling into your space of calm, getting grounded. And really tuning into your body, especially if you've been away from yoga or doing less of yoga these past couple of months. And just be kind and forgiving of your body as we move through the stretches and poses this morning. Making any little adjustments to your seated posture. And taking some nice deep breaths to help wake up the mind, freshen the brain, and begin to expand your lungs and just feel all the fresh breath entering the body. And exhale all the staleness, sleepiness out of your body. And just really lighten your load. All the worries and anxiety that we've all been carrying these past couple of months. Let that all go. Just a couple more breaths here. And then let's take our hands into prayer position. And if you'd like to set an intention for your practice, then please do so at this time. Again, an intention can give you support, guidance as you move through your practice. And it can certainly change and evolve as you begin to get very connected to your body, mind, and spirit. Let's take 3 prayer breaths to seal our intentions. Arms come up, reach up. Exhale to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale down. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. And then reaching the arms up. We're going to go right into puppy pose. Exhale, ground your hands. Walk your knees back. And exhale, empty the heart as you lower the forehead down to the mat, or you can use a block to support your head here. See if you can keep the elbows lifted off the ground so you get a deeper stretch through the arms and through the armpits, and feel more lengthening happening through the spine. You can move your hips from side to side, dropping one temple and then the other. And just feel your body this morning. And maybe noticing areas that are tight, especially if you've been away from yoga for a little while. And then let's go ahead and drop the elbows down. Take the hands in prayer and place the thumbs behind the neck for a different little stretch in this shape. And so you'll begin to feel your triceps get stretched and maybe more opening through the chest and heart. And if that doesn't work for you and you prefer the arms extended, then by all means do that. Okay, really take care of yourself today and enjoy your practice. About 3 more breaths here. And 2. And 1. And then release your hands down to the mat. Inhale, go ahead and curl into cat pose as you slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Drop your head down. And then inhale, bring the heart forward, gaze comes forward. Exhale, curl back into cat pose. Really feel the stretch in the upper part of your spine and upper back. Inhale, heart slides forward. Exhale, curl. And go ahead and do a couple of these. Okay. I'm just checking in on all of you. I'm here. I know I'm not in your space, but I am here to support you and guide you the best way I can. And just enjoy this movement. Enjoy your breath as you invite this freedom in your body to loosen up all the knots that are there. Just a couple more. And then next time you come into cat, go ahead and pause here. Breathe here. Again, let your head go. Really release the weight of your head from your neck. And then from here, we're going to come into kneeling. So go ahead and rise up. Lift the arms up, bend at the elbows, reach up. Extend the arms up towards the sky. Nice big breath here. And then the hands can either come to the heart or to your hips as you step the right foot forward, coming into low lunge pose. Now we're going to work and pulse and stretch the legs here. You can have the back toes curled if that brings a little more support and stability. Inhale, go ahead, straighten your right leg. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, forward. And making sure that your left knee is not hurting you. You can always place a cushion, a towel, a sock to support your joint. Okay. Good. And then next time your knee comes forward, go ahead and take the left hand to the inside of your right foot, and then reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, fingertips reaching up. And if this is fairly easy for you, you want to lift your left knee off the ground, feel free to do that. Maybe the gaze comes up towards the ceiling. And just take some nice deep breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good job, everyone. Breathing in. And breathing out for 5 more breaths. And 3. 2. And 1. And if you're working with your knee lifted, go ahead, bring it down. Bring your right hand down, and then we're going to step the left foot to meet the right foot, coming into forward fold, or more like a rag doll. And just have your knees bent a lot here, letting your head go. Maybe taking a little yoga mudra stretch, interlacing your hands, and you can sway from side to side. Move in any way that feels nice. Maybe straighten one leg. And then the other, stretching the hamstrings a little bit. Or maybe you prefer just to keep your arms down, and that's perfectly fine too. As we begin to open up the body, connect with our bodies, we'll be able to hear more and give our bodies what it needs. Go ahead and release Yoga Mudra. Ground down your feet, bend your knees a lot, grab your imaginary beach ball. So you're gonna cat curl yourself up. So round your spine, lifting up, you hug your abdominals up and in, elbows bend, you rise up. We're gonna come into a little half moon stretch here, so legs together. Interlacing the hands into steeple, or they could be in prayer, it's up to you. And then arch over to the right side. And then maybe release the bottom arm if you prefer. Gaze can be up, gaze can be down. Lots of options. You've all taken classes with me, so I highly encourage you to do your own variation of what feels good to you at this moment, right here, right now. Inhale, come up to center. And exhale, go ahead and arch over to the opposite side. Again, continuing to wake up the spine, create freedom in the spine, and just stretching all the muscles that are around the spine. And of course, we're stretching the lower back. This is such a simple pose, but one of the most powerful poses for your well-being, for your body, for your spine. Inhale, come up to center, and then exhale, go ahead and bend your knees and fold here. If you want to go straight to down dog, you can, but if you want to go to plank pose and do a little vinyasa, you can do that. And you can bring the knees down, lower down, and then come up to cobra pose or sphinx pose for 3 breaths here. For 2 and 1, and then downward facing dog. And if you'd rather go to child's pose, you can go to child's pose, or you can come back to puppy pose if you need to rest your wrists, okay? Your body, your practice. Maybe move the hips around, pedal the feet. 3 more breaths, and then we're gonna go to child's pose. 2 and 1. Lower the knees to the floor. You can come into wide child, that's an option, big toes together, or you can come to closed child, having the arms extended or hands by your feet. It's up to you. And then move a little from side to side, going back and forth with your breath. Breathing deeply through the nose and exhaling out through the nose. 5 more breaths. Really pay attention to your knees if they're not uncomfortable. Yoga focuses a lot on the joints. We use our joints a lot in yoga, so make sure nothing is feeling pinchy or sharp. Just gentle reminders, loving reminders. For 2 and 1. And then once again, we'll rise up, back onto our knees, wave the arms up. So here we are again. We're going to go to low lunge on the opposite side. Okay. The hands can lower down to the heart or stay on the hips. See what gives you more support and stability. Step the left foot forward. Maybe walk the right knee back and curl the toes under. Okay. And then we'll start to pulse here. So inhale, the leg straightens. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, forward. And just go at your own pace, making sure that your knee doesn't cave in as you lean back. Okay. Nice and steady. I'm watching all of you. Good. And you can always pause if something feels good or you feel a deep release. 3, 2, and 1. So pausing in low lunge. Okay. Reach the arms up.
And then exhale, right hand to the inside of the left foot as we extend the left arm, left fingertips up. And you can add a small twist here by gazing up if it's okay with your neck. Otherwise, keep your gaze down. And you can always have a block for your hand to take some of the edge off your wrist if your wrists are sensitive. Okay, 3 more breaths here. You can always lift up the back leg, if you want to add a little more fire for the pose. For 2 and 1. And go ahead and release the left hand. We're going to come back to forward fold. So step your right foot forward, and here we are once again. Go ahead, squeeze your wrists out. Hanging like a rag doll. Keep the knees nice and soft. And then at any time, if you're ready to be creative, you can add a little yoga mudra. Maybe straighten one leg and then the other. Again, these are just options, suggestions. You don't have to do anything at all. Maybe you know of something that I don't, that you know works better for your body. And I want you to go there. Okay, maybe you learned something from a different teacher and you want to invite that to this practice. By all means, do that. 3 more breaths. 2 and 1. If your arms are engaged, go ahead and release. Grab your imaginary beach ball, rise up, round the upper part, especially of the spine of your upper back. So you're in cat pose as you rise up to standing. The arms reach up, and here we are again. We're going to take a second half moon. So the hands come into steeple, palms could be together. It's up to you. We'll start on the left side this time. And then you can always let go of the bottom arm. Okay. Nice opening up the rib cage. Invite your breath there. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And out. Let's go over to the other side. Come to center. And then shift over to half moon on the other side. Any variation that you'd like to do that works best for you. Okay. And then we'll rise up. And then you're either going to go to downward facing dog or go through the sun salutation. Okay, you don't have to do it at all. So you're in forward fold, you walk your feet back, plank pose. You can bring the knees down, lower down. And then inhale to cobra, or maybe you prefer Sphinx pose. 3, 2, and 1, and then downward facing dog for a couple of breaths here. And you can move your body in any way that feels good. Maybe you prefer to go to puppy pose because it's better for your wrists. Or maybe feels better for your upper back and shoulders. 3 more. 2. And 1. And then you'll begin to walk your feet up towards your hands, coming into what's called half lift. And this is half forward fold, and this is a lovely pose to help decompress the lower back. And we'll just pause here. It's a pose that we often shift in and out of, but it can feel really, really nice for the low back spine. You might even want to have your hands, your fingertips drop forward as if you were placing a box down, and that can create some opening through the shoulders. 3 more breaths. 2,
and 1. And then just bend your knees and just let yourself fold in. Shaking the head, yes. Shaking it, no. Maybe release the tongue out of your mouth and move your jaw around. If you know the lion's breath and you've been too shy to do that, it's letting out that big sound. And no one will hear you, okay? So that can feel very invigorating, just going It's really, really nice. 3 more breaths here. 2. And 1. And then you ground your feet, grab your beach ball, rise up, cat curl. And extend your arms up. And let's take a few sun breaths here. Exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, arms come up, palms touch. Exhale, lower down. Good. Inhale, remembering that your breath is the fuel of your practice. So if you start to feel a little tired, or you feel you need a little more energy to your practice, breathe. Make sure you're taking nice deep breaths. I like to add a little bend to my knees as I exhale, and I straighten them, but you don't have to do that. It's just very out of habit for me, but you can do it as well. Okay, one more time. Maybe 2. And then come to mountain pose. Just come to your mountain pose and relax. Soften the shoulders, relax your face. You can keep your eyes closed unless you're dizzy as you root down through both your feet as the crown of your head reaches up towards the sky. Just checking in with all of you. Good. Nice big breaths in, filling up both lungs, the front of the lungs. Feel the sides of your lungs get filled up, the backs of your lungs, all with fresh breath. And deeply exhale for 3, 2, and 1. And we'll open up our eyes. We're going to go into some balancing. We're going to go into tree pose. So as always, the way I teach trees, many of you are aware, if you know your tree, then go for it. I always like to break it down, saying no, balance can be an issue for some people's bodies. So ground down through your left foot, and you could take the right foot, keep the 5 toes down, and keep the heel right above the ankle. And you can stay right here. This could be your tree pose for today. Otherwise, you can start to lift the foot off the ground, but keep it right beneath your knee. Okay. And then maybe you go a little higher, and you can use your hand to bring up your foot. And you arrive in your tree pose. Okay. And then you can add variations. I was having a little fun with this yesterday, and I actually invited some prayer breaths. So if you feel balanced and you want to do a few prayer breaths, you can do that. Just something a little different to invite to your tree pose. The 3 more. And 2. And 1. And then from here, we're going to swing our leg back and come into Virabhadrasana 2. So the back toes, the right toes are internally rotated. Okay, pelvis is opened here, and then the arms extend out. And so be mindful. So what happens a lot, if there's a little hip weakness, this can happen. The knee will want to drop in. So just be mindful of that, otherwise shorten your stance. Okay, it's not about as far as you can go. It's about finding a good stretch and not hurting yourself in the process. Good, everybody's knee looks good. Good. And just looking forward, over towards your middle finger, maybe the palms open up for more of a shoulder opener.
Okay. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And out for 3, 2, and 1. And then you'll straighten the front leg and then take Quinasana, triangle pose. So the left hand comes down somewhere along your left leg as you reach your fingertips back up towards the ceiling, making sure the chest is open. This is one of the poses I find that's often done incorrectly, because some people can reach the floor. I certainly can, but look how horrible my triangle is. And I've been doing yoga for 20 years, and a lot of times this has to do with anatomy. So I need to be way up here to have a very healthy looking, stable, safe for my joints triangle pose. Okay, good. Very nice, everybody. And your gaze can once again come up towards the ceiling, or it can be onto the floor, whatever feels comfortable to your neck. If your head is in neutral, I want you to press your skull back. You don't want to hang your head forward. You don't want the text neck position in your yoga pose. 3 more breaths. 2, and 1. We're going to bend the front knee once again. We're going to come into side angle pose. So taking the left arm to the left thigh and making some nice circles with the right arm. So you bring the torso forward, reach the fingertips forward. Inhale, you open up the chest, open up the shoulder, and then exhale, drop down and reach. So you stretch the right side of your back. So you feel the deep stretching happening as you come down and forward. Okay. If at any time the front leg gets tired, just unbend it and you can come back to triangle pose and do the same movement. We'll just be here for 5 more breaths. And 3, 2, and 1. And then the next time your arm comes up, maybe take a look at it, and then bring your right hand down, bring the left hand down, and here you are in runner's lunge pose. Go ahead and wave your spine, reach the crown of the head forward. You can go straight to down dog, or maybe do a dog split. If you want to do the plank, chaturanga, you can do that, or just omit that. Okay, so some of you were my students from the Y, some of you at the Blue Store. So I'm trying to find that balance and offer what I can to you. And if you are from the Blue Store, I really didn't teach the vinyasa, so skip it. You can just go straight to dog pose. Or maybe you're feeling comfortable and you're curious to try it. 3 more breaths. 2, and 1. Let's take child's pose. So come back down onto your knees. Bring your hands by your feet, or not, up to you. You can widen the knees. Rock a little from side to side. Use a block if you need it for your head, or maybe you prefer puppy pose. Okay, that's a lovely thing to do instead of child's pose. Okay. Good. And then let's go ahead and, if your knees aren't wide, go ahead and widen them. Let's do a cat curl here, rising up with the head hanging down. Exhale, slide hands forward. Do 2 more. Inhale, curl. Exhale, fold. And last time, inhale. And exhale, you slide your hands forward. Come back to down dog. Give the legs a good stretch. And then when you're ready, return to forward fold. You can come fingertips facing down, sitting bones pressing back as you create more length through your spine.
And then from here, fold right back down, squeeze wrists out. Grab your beach ball, rise up. Extend and lengthen. Hands come together and exhale. We'll take a few prayer breaths now. Inhale, big breath in. Exhale to the heart. Inhale. So refueling, right? Just simply moving the arms and allowing ourselves to take deep breaths, and then we'll rest in mountain pose before moving on to the other side of our standing sequence. And one more. Big breath in, maybe reconnecting with your intention. And exhale, go ahead, release your arms. You can close your eyes. Sorry about that. Okay. Maybe you didn't see that. Okay. Standing nice and tall, breathing in and breathing out. And just notice if you're tightening up here, and if you can somehow relax the brow and the face and the shoulders, let them drop away from your ears as you widen the collarbones, opening up the heart and chest so the breath can continue to move freely to support you in your practice. 3 more breaths. 2 and 1. You'll open up your eyes. We're going to go to tree pose, opposite side. So if you are ready to go, then go. Otherwise, I'm going to break it down again for you. Ground down through the right foot, and then you can come in what's called bush pose. You're like a little bush. Take the left heel above your right ankle, and you can stay right here with hands at the hips or hands at the heart. And if you're saying, no, this is a little too easy for me, then you lift the entire foot to the inside of your shin, just below the right knee, never against the knee. Okay, we never want to add unnecessary stress to a joint. Or you can take it up a little higher and have more of this classic butterfly leg here. And then you can stay here. You can add the prayer breaths, or maybe do sun breaths instead this time. Okay, just to add something a little different to your tree pose. But don't compromise the pose to do more. Okay, keep your body safe. And you always want to maintain the integrity of the pose. Good job. 3 more breaths. We're going to go to Vira 2 shortly. And 2. And 1. And then we're going to swing the left leg back. And here we are in Virabhadrasana 2. So the left toes are internally rotated slightly towards 1 o'clock. If it's too much, then keep them at 12 o'clock. Okay. And then the front leg, so you make sure this is not happening, right? You want to bring that back. And if you're struggling with that, you shorten the stance instead. And then you open up the arms, so pelvis nice and opened here. Nice and open. And then extend the arms out. Palms open, if that feels nice. And take some nice deep breaths as we're here as a group, as peaceful warriors during this uncertain time, and dealing with it in a peaceful way. And yoga can help us deal with this uncertainty in a peaceful way. And we're doing it safely together as a group as we move forward in this troubled time. Let's take Quinasana, so straighten your front leg. Bring the right hand to your right leg.
Again, we're all gonna look different here. Okay, so the left arm comes up towards the ceiling. Again, none of this, okay? And oftentimes, a simple thing you can do is if your breath feels restricted, if the breath is not moving with ease, then you're probably doing the pose wrong. And so I know when I'm down here, I can barely breathe. It's not my pose. This is my pose, okay? So front leg is straight, okay? Good, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and out for 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna go back to side angle pose. So you're gonna have the warrior 2 legs, you bend the front knee, take the right arm to your right thigh, and then the left arm and then your torso is going to come down. And then you reach, I'm going in slow-mo so you can really see this. The left fingertips really reach so you feel this stretch all along the left side of your back. And then you open up. Feel your chest and heart open, shoulder open. And then exhale, you dig right in. This is a practice about digging in. We gotta dig to free up the tension and all the hard layers that life can create. Even though we practice yoga, sometimes things get tough and stiff. We're human beings. And that's why we do yoga, to remind ourselves to come home to ourselves and ease the stress that we've placed on our bodies and bring things back to balance. Okay, so the next time your arm comes up, okay, pause here for a moment. We're going to come to runner's lunge, and we'll pause in runner's lunge here. Do a nice cat stretch here. Wave your spine, reach the crown of the head forward. And then exhale, you can go to downward facing dog, or you can move through the vinyasa. There's no pressure to do the plank chaturanga at all. It's not for everybody. There are days I don't do a single plank or chaturanga. It's just not my medicine. Okay, good. And once you arrive to your dog pose, your puppy pose, just enjoy, stretch, feel good. And then come to child's pose when you're ready. Okay, if you need to be in dog a little longer, then stay in downward facing dog longer. Okay, and your hands can come by your feet, or maybe rather do puppy pose. I know child's pose, as simple as it is, it really does ask a lot of your knee and hip joints, so it's not for everybody. It could be a very challenging pose for some bodies, where it can be a very relaxing pose for some, and for some it's not relaxing. So take puppy pose if you need to. That was the very first pose of our practice, and that might be much more suitable. Okay. If you'd like to add a little half moon to your child's or to your puppy pose, you walk your hands over to the left side and stretch here. So the spine is in a C curve shape. And then go ahead and half moon over to the other side. Okay. Good. Come to center. Okay. And then we'll slowly rise up. And then we'll come down and just extend our legs out. Just give our legs a nice little stretch here. Your hands can come back behind you for support. And just pause here for a moment. And by having the fingertips just like so, we get a nice opening in the chest and through the shoulders. Okay, good. Nice deep breaths. Okay, we're going to simply come into Lord of the Fish pose. Okay, so take the right leg, cross it over the left leg. Okay. You can also bend the left knee and bring the left heel, or the left heel to the right buttock. Okay, I'm going to turn around so you can see me better. It's up to you. And then we pause in cat before we fully go into the twist. We pause in cat, and this is going to help us go deeper into the pose. Reach the right fingertips forward, whichever variation you're doing. Left leg hugs the right. Inhale, spin the arm up, and exhale, twist over to the right. And you're sitting nice and tall here. So even though your hand is here, you don't want to do this. You won't even feel your breath, but you want to be nice and tall. Okay. And if you know the different twist that works better for your body, then that's what you do. Okay. So the head is turned to the right. Okay. 3 more. 2. And 1. And then inhale, reach the arm up. And exhale, lengthen the right leg. We'll go right to the other side. Your choice, your variation. Left leg crosses over. If you want to do the full expression, and the full expression doesn't mean it's better, okay? It just works your joints and muscles a little differently. There are days I just want to keep it very simple. Take the right arm, hug your left shin. You pause in cat, so you're really grounding your spine here. Think of when we're doing cat and dog. Same thing here, cat pose. Head is dropped down. And then the left fingertips reach forward. Big inhale, reach up. And exhale, you spin towards the left. Gaze over the left shoulder as you sit nice and tall here. And you can close your eyes to help quiet your mind. Okay. Just meet yourself where you are today. And it might be different from when we did yoga together back in March. Sometimes we'll think, oh, I know I could do that, or I know this is my edge. I know I can go this deep into the pose. And then if you've been away from the mat or not just doing yoga as often, then you might need to back off a little bit. Okay. Let's come back to center. Bring the back arm forward. Okay. We're going to come down onto our backs now. Then you can stretch out both legs for a moment. Take a breath here. And then you can extend your arms forward and pull yourself down. If you want to pause and have a little core pose here, you can. You can lift the heels. Extend the fingers as long as you like. Make sure you breathe. And eventually you can drop the head down, knees into the chest. Rock a little from side to side. Good job. So we're going to be on our backs, and what it's always about is the journey to Shavasana. That's the most important pose of our practice. That's where all the healing happens. The body takes all these poses, all these stretches, digests them, and the true healing begins. Okay, so from here, from knees to chest, you can bring your feet down and take a little butterfly pose to bring the soles of the feet together, legs in a diamond shape, and you can relax your hands to the insides of your thighs or maybe cactus arms. Really up to you. See what feels good to your shoulders at this point in the practice. And let your eyes close. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And just taking this experience that you're having today, if this is your first time doing an online yoga class or the first time Zoom, is it different for you? And in that difference, can you maintain the same open mind and the same open heart that you have when you are in the more traditional setting, in a public setting, in a studio, in a fitness center? Okay, so from here, well, let's go ahead and bring the feet down. So the knees are bent, but we're not going to really stay here. We're going to take the left heel towards the left corner of the mat. We're going to go into banana pose. This is a really lovely little pose. And then take the right leg on top of your left leg. So they're crisscrossed at the ankles. And then you'll interlace your hands behind your head. And if you can't see me and you don't know what I'm talking about, just stand up and take a peek. And then I'll peek over at you as well. Take your left elbow and just begin to walk it down towards your feet, as if you're trying to get your elbow to touch the feet. So we're stretching all along the right side of the body. And this is very similar to half moon, but you might be able to go into a deeper place versus the standing variation of half moon. Okay. You can eventually release your hands and just relax your arms if that feels nice. Keep the face relaxed, the jaw relaxed, as if you were just relaxing at the beach, with no worries in the world. Remember your breath, most importantly. It's always, always there to support you. Okay. Let's bring the head to center. Bring the legs up to center. Just extend the legs up. Massage the flesh of your body, the hamstrings, the calves. Maybe you can reach up to the feet so you're in a supine Paschimottanasana. Your lower back might pop up, and that's okay. And then your feet will return to the mat. The right foot will slide towards 1 o'clock to the right corner of your mat. Left leg crosses on top, cross your ankles. Interlace your hands behind your head. And same thing here, we're going to stretch out the left side of your body. Walk the right elbow down, 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 as if you're trying to get to touch your feet. And then the left arm might pop up. You just want to try to bring it down. And then once you find your edge, you can stay here or begin to release your arms. It'll be a different stretch if you release the arms, but that's okay. That might be a good different stretch for you to do. Okay. Breathing, noticing, and taking it all in. Knowing that you are so worthy of good things, and yoga is a good thing for you. And the gift of yoga, others feel it. Everyone that you encounter, even a stranger. Yoga gives us this positive glow, this peaceful glow, and other human beings can feel that. It's a radiance that shines out. Just a couple of more breaths. And then slowly traveling back to center, release the hands. Bring the knees into the chest. Go ahead and extend the legs up towards the ceilings. Massage the flesh of your body. Okay. And then for our next and last pose before Shavasana, we're going to go into bridge pose or shoulder stand. So I don't know if you have a block or not. If you don't have a block, well, don't do shoulder stand unless you have, and I need to do a video tutorial of shoulder stand with a blanket. So if you have a yoga blanket, I can show that to you and you could do shoulder stand safely. But otherwise, you can do bridge without the block if you're blockless. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show both poses. So this is bridge without the block. You can come into yoga mudra. Feet are about hip width, and you keep pressing the hips up, the pelvis up. And if you need more of a restorative bridge, then that's where your block will come in handy. You place it right underneath your hips. And then if you're opting for the shoulder stand with the block, you simply just extend your legs up. And this variation is a much safer option for your neck I'm not showing it to you with the blanket, but I have to make a video tutorial and I'll send it to all of you. Just bear with me here. And if you're doing bridge with the block and you want to go into shoulder stand, you can do that. And just as I do in my public classes, I want to give you some time to explore your practice on your own before Shavasana. So I'm going to leave you be. If there's any other yoga poses you want to do, please feel free to explore those poses. We have about 5 minutes left. So if you need the 5-minute Shavasana, then give yourself that time. Okay. Please continue to relax. Continue to enjoy your breath. Enjoy this moment as you savor all of the benefits of your practice today. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, begin to invite some gentle, soft movement back into your body. Wiggling toes, fingers, moving the head from side to side. And eventually your knees coming up into your chest, rocking a little from side to side. And then in your own way, you'll come to sit, coming back to where the journey started today. Continuing to keep your eyes closed. And I'd like to share a quote with you today to conclude our practice by Amit Ray. When life is foggy, path is unclear, and mind is dull, remember your breath. It has the power to give you peace. It has the power to resolve the unsolved equations of life. Joining our hands over the heart center, bowing down. And I wish you all peace and good things. Namaste.